So now we have two commands we have to run on the master node, one on the master node and the other one on the worker node. The first command is for the master node, because we have a dash, double dash, or hyphen, double hyphens, control plane, etc. So I will go to other master node here and run it as user, super user, and the other one on the worker node. Copy it, sudo, so now my worker node joined to the cluster. We have to wait for the master node to join as well. Yes, it has joined as well. So if we come back to our master node and try to type kubectl or sudo, I will not execute this command on the master node, right? Because I will not use the master node to use the kubectl control, but instead I will use it on the admin. So I will copy this file here. I will copy it to the admin host under this directory, or under this directory. So to run the kubectl command without running this command, you type kubectl git nodes, and then you specify the kube config, and then you specify the file. So now we have three, as you can see, one master node and the other one is our worker node. So the next step is to run or to install or to deploy our container network interface. So for that, we'll copy this and I will paste it here. So sudo, paste that command here, -- kube config, and then apply the changes. So if we have to wait a little bit, then the status of the host or of the nodes will change to ready. Yes. So the next step now is to try to copy this file from the master node to the admin, right? So what I will use the iscopy, the security copy, and to use that we have to generate key pairs on the master node and paste on the admin node, and then copy the file. So the first thing I'm going to do is keygen -t RSA, hit enter, and then once the keys are generated, you have to copy them on the admin node. But as if you have already watched my previous videos, you will know the procedure, how we proceed to achieve this task or this step of how to copy the public key from this master node or from this node over the machine or the host that we want to have either control or that we want to copy or talk to it. For that, I have to switch to root user and then change the password of this user and then switch back and modify something under SSH, then SSHD underscore config and scroll down and look for the password authentication and switch it to yes. If you don't enable this, then you will be not able to copy that public key to this host. And to apply the changes, we have to reload the SSHD service. And on the master node now, if I try to type SSH copy ID and then username at and the IP address that is 10.10.1.53 and then hit enter. Yes, enter the password and it works. What I have to do now is type scopy. I want to scopy and then here I specify the folder on my local host, on this host, that is Kubernetes /admins, and then I specify the username and the password 3, then colon, and on which directory I want to copy this file, and their home, Ubuntu, cube, and their config. So I have to come here down to the admin and then make a directory called cube. It will be hidden. So if I try to list the folder, I have no one, but if I type ls-le, I can see the hidden folder. I will clear now and they will get in this folder cube, right, and then touch and call it config. And on this master node now, if I hit enter, say yes, enter the password, is copied, and if I come down here and try to cut this file, it has all the credentials. This is certificate, the context, the cluster. I will explain everything. So now to be able to interact with my master node, I have to add something, and it is the kubectl, because the kubectl enable us to interact with our clusters, and kubectl is enable us to create our cluster, because instead of creating the cluster from scratch, right, then I mean by scratch is to create the etcd, the IP server, the scheduler, and the controller manager separately, and then manage the SSL certificates, etc. So the kubectl enable us, or the kubectl manage all these stuffs for us. So all what we need is type a command and everything will be generated under the hood. So if you want to create your cluster, it will be very hard to start it from scratch. So there are many tools like kops and kubectl, and there are some